Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and unfortunately, the sequel to a game that I really enjoyed and promote on this channel quite often, Kingdom Come Deliverance, in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is under a little bit of fire, and rightfully so. Unfortunate, this is probably a publisher decision, but man, I just think DRM is not the route to go, and I think ultimately it does a disservice to the game rather than benefits the game. So we'll talk about that. Alright, so this image is making the rounds. This is coming from Plyon, player support, and Plyon is the publisher of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Hello, thank you for reaching out to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 support. We understand that you have a few queries regarding the game. We're happy to provide some clarification regarding your questions about the game. GOG availability. The game will not be available on GOG from day one. Offline mode, yes, you can enjoy the game from start to finish in offline mode on PC, but it will require occasional connections as per the platform's rules. Steam, Epic, and Denuvo online activation. The game will adhere to the rules of the platform it's purchased as well as Denuvo. So there is online-based DRM to obviously prevent piracy. Now, when I look at a game like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, that is the style of game that pirating it does affect the most. Like, let's be honest, a single-player open-world RPG like this, that's where pirates are gonna go after. However, the reality is, and I think most of you guys have become well aware of it, the online DRM is just something that doesn't actually prevent piracy. Maybe it will halt it for a little bit, but ultimately, I believe, and there's no real way to quantify it, but I feel like you do more damage in the long run in terms of eroding your consumer goodwill. I think as we've noticed in today's industry and gaming ecosystem, consumer goodwill is probably the most important thing that any publisher can create, and I feel like Warhorse Studios had quite a bit of goodwill from the success of Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, and now this is an element that does destroy that goodwill. It's not going to absolutely evaporate it, eviscerate it, anything like that, but ultimately, what are you actually doing? You're opening up the game to be accessible to pirates. The unfortunate reality is the people that pirate video games, I believe the overwhelming majority we're not going to buy the game anyway. They don't have the means to buy the game. The people that are going to buy the game are buying the game because they want a legal copy of the game and they want to play the game, and that's just the way the world is right now. Again, the majority of people that are going to pirate these games, I really do believe they weren't going to buy the game, and just adding the Denuvo DRM doesn't actually encourage them to buy the game. They just don't care, and when you're a pirate, you have the world is your oyster. You can pirate any game you want. If it's not going to be Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, they can go and pirate something else. It's not that big of a deal, and ultimately, it's not going to convert those people that were former pirates into buying the game, at least not to an overwhelming degree. What it will do is for the people that are actually buying the game, you are ultimately punishing them. You are destroying goodwill. And you are legitimately going to prevent some people from wanting to buy the game. Maybe it's not as much as they view that DRM does support. I'm sure they have data that reinforces the belief that, when you add DRM, that less people pirate it or more people buy it. I'm sure there's some sort of metric that they can quantify. However, what you cannot quantify is consumer goodwill. This is just something, I'm sorry, you cannot quantify it. You do not know the value of it, and Ubisoft is finding the harsh reality of it right now after years and years of them destroying goodwill. Ultimately, it has come to bite them in the ass, and now they are doing everything they can to rebuild that consumer goodwill. And why wasn't Ubisoft doing something about it before? Because goodwill isn't something that is measurable. You can't just be like, oh, I got X amount of goodwill today. No, that's not how it works. Over time, you destroy and you pick at that goodwill, and suddenly you're a laughingstock in the gaming industry, and Ubisoft has become exactly that. I'm not saying overnight that KCD2 somehow is going to get absolutely panned. That's not going to happen, but I do believe this is a step in the wrong direction, especially you're doing something that is inherently anti-consumer when you're adding a barrier like this. Kingdom Come Deliverance was a game that was helped funded via the consumer. It was a game that was kickstarted. So I feel like there is such a huge disparity, the dichotomy of Kingdom Come Deliverance being this game that was helped crowdfunded, and now you're doing something that is inherently anti-consumer by adding some sort of online-based DRM. That's just a little honestly ironic to me, and it's a little bit unfortunate. How I believe it is, I don't think this was a decision from Warhorse. I do believe this is something that is upper management at Pion or whoever it is that is making a decision like this. However, it's just something that I don't think should be in gaming, especially when you add in the context of this was a game that was help funded via Kickstarter. At least KCD1 was, and I believe a lot of the content from KCD2 was supposed to be in KCD1, but they're giving it free to people that back the game. That's great and all, but still, you're inherently doing something that is anti-consumer, and again, I do question the value of adding an always online DRM or an online-based DRM. It's a nuisance for the consumer, and ultimately, 6 months to a year from now, they'll pull that DRM, and then they'll be like, alright guys, no more online-only DRM, because at that point, like, the value of it has waned, and at that point, they'll probably release the game on GOG, given that they note that the game will not be available on GOG from day one, but I'm sure it'll be available sometime down the line from GOG. Just a poor decision, and I feel like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 did have this buzz around it, and it's not like it's gonna erode that buzz just by this element of the game, but why even do something like this? Why not go all systems go, especially when we're living in a gaming world where there are so many publishers that are taking consumer goodwill for granted, and you see the Ubisofts of the world now having to desperately course correct. You don't want to put KCD in that area as well, where at some point, and it's not going to happen overnight, but years from now, they gotta course correct on top of that, and then, just throwing out hypotheticals, what if KCD2 comes out, it turns out to be a bad PC version in terms of performance, and then people tie it to the DRM? It's just, you don't know how things are gonna play out, and if things like this can be avoided, ultimately make the money that you can, try to push as much goodwill, because goodwill ultimately pays dividends on the back end. Look at the goodwill Larian has built now. Now, inherently, their next title, whenever it comes out, is going to have such an immense amount of hype and anticipation just because Larian has built in that goodwill and that immense trust from the consumer. Doing things like this breaks one of the key pivotal, I should say, elements in gaming promotion, and that is trust. People don't have that trust in Ubisoft anymore, and that is damaging. Sure, Assassin's Creed Shadows still has a healthy level of pre-orders, but think about how much more it could have if that trust was still there, and doing things like this, I just feel like breaks that trust over time. Not overnight, over time. The Ubisoft goodwill destruction happened over the course of like 7 years. It's not an overnight thing, but you don't even want to start in that, and you'd rather be doing things that build upon goodwill. Things like not doing online DRM. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.